The day Earth received its first confirmed alien transmission dawned like any other. July 17, 2025, started as an ordinary Thursday for most of humanity, but by nightfall, the world would never be the same. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, lead researcher at the SETI Institute, was the first to notice the anomaly. Her eyes widened as she stared at the computer screen, heart racing. The signal was unlike anything she'd ever seen, a clear, repetitive pattern that couldn't be explained by any known cosmic phenomenon. "This is it," she whispered, her hands shaking as she reached for her phone. Within hours, observatories around the world confirmed her findings. The signal was real, and it was undeniably artificial. As news spread, the planet erupted in a frenzy of excitement, fear, and speculation. Social media platforms crashed under the weight of global discussion. World leaders huddled in emergency meetings, religious figures offered conflicting interpretations, and civilians alternated between celebration and panic. It took 3 days for Earth's top cryptographers and linguists to decipher the message. When they did, the content sent shockwaves through every nation. "People of Earth, you are not alone. We are the Zar'khan, an advanced civilization from the Andromeda galaxy. We come in peace, seeking alliance and exchange of knowledge. Prepare for our arrival in one Earth year. Together, we shall usher in a new era of galactic cooperation." The message was accompanied by complex mathematical proofs and scientific data, leaving no doubt about its authenticity or the advanced nature of its senders. As humanity grappled with this paradigm-shifting revelation, governments worldwide scrambled to prepare for the impending arrival. The United Nations established a special committee for extraterrestrial affairs, while scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to advance Earth's technology in anticipation of the meeting. Yet beneath the surface of hope and excitement, a current of unease ran through military and intelligence communities. Admiral Samantha Chen of the United States Space Force voiced the concern shared by many. "Peace is ideal, but we must be prepared for all possibilities. History has taught us that first contact between civilizations doesn't always end well for the less advanced party." Little did anyone know that deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, a secret that would change the course of this interstellar encounter had lain dormant for centuries, waiting for this very moment to reveal itself. As the countdown to the Zar'khan's arrival began, humanity stood on the precipice of its greatest adventure and potentially its greatest threat. The next year would determine not just the fate of Earth, but perhaps the entire galaxy. As the world reeled from the revelation of extraterrestrial contact, Dr. Samantha Chen found herself thrust into the spotlight. At 35, she was already renowned as one of Earth's foremost xenolinguists, though until now, her field had been largely theoretical. Born to a Chinese-American father and a British mother, Samantha had always straddled multiple cultures, fostering a deep fascination with language and communication from an early age. Her doctoral thesis on potential alien language structures had been hailed as groundbreaking, earning her a position at the newly established Extraterrestrial Communication Division of the United Nations. Now, as she pored over the Zar'khan transmission in her high-security lab in Geneva, Samantha felt a mix of exhilaration and trepidation. The alien language was unlike anything she had ever encountered, a complex system of mathematical algorithms interwoven with what appeared to be emotional resonances. "It's beautiful," she murmured, her green eyes reflecting the holographic projections of the alien syntax. "But there's something off about it." Samantha couldn't shake the feeling that beneath the seemingly benevolent message lay hidden layers of meaning. The language was too perfect, too precisely tailored to human understanding. It was as if the Zar'khan had an intimate knowledge of Earth's languages and communication methods. As she worked tirelessly to unravel the intricacies of the alien tongue, Samantha began to formulate a theory. What if the Zar'khan weren't just reaching out for first contact? What if they had been watching Earth for far longer than anyone suspected? Her colleagues dismissed her concerns as paranoia born from too many late nights and the pressure of her task. But Samantha couldn't let it go. She knew she was missing something crucial, a key that would unlock the true nature of the Zar'khan's intentions. Little did Samantha know that her instincts would soon lead her down a path that would uncover Earth's greatest secret and thrust her into the center of a conflict that would determine the fate of two civilizations. As the days ticked by and the world prepared for the arrival of their cosmic visitors, Samantha worked with growing urgency. She was convinced that understanding the true nature of the Zar'khan language was humanity's best hope for navigating the uncertain waters of first contact. In her heart, she knew that the next year would change everything, not just for her, but for all of humanity, and she was determined to be ready, no matter what the stars might bring. As Dr. Samantha Chen delved deeper into the intricacies of the Zar'khan language, the world's governments scrambled to form a unified response to the impending alien arrival. The United Nations Security Council, in an unprecedented move, called for the creation of an International Extraterrestrial Response Task Force (IRTF). The formation of the IRTF was not without its challenges. Old rivalries and geopolitical tensions threatened to derail the process from the start. The United States and China both vied for leadership positions, while smaller nations demanded equal representation. Russia, feeling sidelined, initially refused to participate, citing concerns about national sovereignty. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who had first detected the alien signal, was appointed as the scientific lead of the IRTF. Her calm demeanor and diplomatic skills proved invaluable in navigating the political minefield. She worked closely with Samantha, recognizing the crucial importance of the xenolinguist's work. Admiral Samantha Chen, despite her initial reservations, was selected to head the military contingent of the task force. Her experience with the U.S. Space Force made her the ideal candidate to prepare Earth's defenses, should they be needed. The scientific community was electrified by the prospect of alien contact. Universities and research institutions around the globe redirected funding and resources towards xenobiology, advanced propulsion systems, and cosmic communication technologies. The promise of exchanging knowledge with an advanced civilization spurred innovation at an unprecedented rate. However, as excitement grew, so did fear and suspicion. Conspiracy theories proliferated online, ranging from claims that the aliens were actually demons to assertions that the whole event was an elaborate hoax designed to institute a one-world government. Religious leaders grappled with the theological implications of extraterrestrial life, with some embracing the idea as part of divine creation, while others denounced it as heresy. Amidst this global turmoil, Samantha continued her work, growing increasingly certain that there was more to the Zar'khan message than met the eye. She shared her concerns with Elena and Sarah, forming an unofficial alliance within the IRTF. "There's a pattern here," Samantha explained during a late-night meeting in Elena's office. "The language isn't just a means of communication. It's adaptive, almost like it's designed to interface directly with our cognitive processes." Sarah frowned, her military training kicking in. "Are you suggesting some form of mind control?" "Not exactly," Samantha replied, "but potentially a way to influence our perceptions, our decisions. We need to be cautious about how we respond to their messages." As the trio discussed the implications of Samantha's discovery, they were unaware that their conversation was being monitored. In a shadowy room halfway across the world, a group of individuals watched with growing interest. "It seems Dr. Chen is more perceptive than we anticipated," a voice said from the darkness. "Perhaps it's time we introduced her to Project Atlantis." As the world counted down the days to the Zar'khan arrival, the seeds of Earth's hidden fleet were beginning to germinate, setting the stage for a confrontation that would shake the foundations of two civilizations. As the implications of Samantha's discovery sank in, the IRTF found itself embroiled in heated debates over how to craft Earth's response to the Zar'khan. The task of composing this crucial message fell to a diverse committee of linguists, diplomats, scientists, and military strategists, with Samantha at its core. The committee convened in a high-security facility in Geneva, their discussions often lasting late into the night. The central question that dominated their deliberations was, how much should Earth reveal about itself? Dr. Elena Rodriguez advocated for transparency. "If we're to establish a meaningful alliance, we must be open and honest," she argued passionately. Sharing our scientific knowledge could lead to unprecedented advancements for humanity. Admiral Samantha Chen, however, urged caution. We can't ignore the potential security risks, she countered. Revealing too much about our technology or defenses could leave us vulnerable if the Zar'khan's intentions aren't as peaceful as they claim. Samantha found herself in the middle, her linguistic insights proving crucial in crafting a message that was both welcoming and guarded. We need to respond in kind, she explained. Match their level of disclosure without overexposing ourselves. The debate extended beyond the committee room. Governments around the world pushed their agendas, each wanting their nation's achievements and cultural significance highlighted in the message. Religious leaders lobbied for the inclusion of spiritual elements, while scientists insisted on prioritizing technological and biological information. As days turned into weeks, a compromise began to take shape. The message would include 1. A brief history of human civilization, focusing on our achievements in science, art, and philosophy. 2. An overview of Earth's biodiversity and climate, without detailed geographical data. 3. Expressions of peace and eagerness to learn, mirroring the tone of the Zar'khan's initial contact. 4. Basic information about human biology and social structures. 5. A series of mathematical and scientific principles to demonstrate Earth's level of advancement. Notably absent were specifics about Earth's military capabilities, exact population figures, or the location of key resources. As Samantha worked on encoding this information using her understanding of the Zar'khan language, she incorporated subtle linguistic safeguards. These were designed to resist any potential cognitive manipulation she suspected might be embedded in the alien communication system. Just as the committee was finalizing the message, Samantha received an encrypted communication on her personal device. The sender was unknown, but the message was clear. Project Atlantis holds the key. Meet at the coordinates attached. Come alone if you want the truth. Torn between her duty to the Earth and her burning curiosity about Earth's hidden secrets, Samantha faced a crucial decision. As Earth's response to the Zar'khan was prepared for transmission, she realized that her next move could alter the course of this interstellar encounter and potentially the fate of humanity itself. The clock was ticking. The Zar'khan would arrive in less than 6 months, and Earth's message needed to be sent. As Samantha weighed her options, the shadowy forces behind Project Atlantis prepared to reveal a truth that would shake the foundations of human history and redefine Earth's place in the cosmos. As Earth's carefully crafted response was transmitted into the cosmos, a palpable tension settled over the planet. The Earth, along with billions of people worldwide, waited with bated breath for the Zar'khan's reply. Days stretched into weeks, and weeks into months, with no response forthcoming. During this period of anxious anticipation, Samantha grappled with the cryptic message about Project Atlantis. After much internal debate, she decided to investigate, discreetly meeting with a mysterious contact who provided her with tantalizing but incomplete information about an ancient Earth secret. This knowledge weighed heavily on her, adding to the already mounting pressure. Just as global anxiety was reaching a fever pitch, 143 days after Earth's transmission, the unexpected happened. A second message from the Zar'khan arrived, causing a flurry of activity at SETI stations worldwide. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who had been catching a rare moment of sleep, was jolted awake by the urgent alerts. She rushed to the control room, where Samantha and Admiral Chen were already poring over the incoming data. "It's different this time," Samantha said, her eyes fixed on the scrolling symbols. "The linguistic structure is more urgent." As the team worked tirelessly to decode the message, its contents sent shockwaves through the Earth and soon, the entire world. "People of Earth, we acknowledge your response. The exchange of knowledge must begin immediately. Rendezvous coordinates follow. Send your emissaries to these coordinates in 30 Earth days. Prepare for direct contact." The message was followed by a series of complex astronomical coordinates, pointing to a location just beyond the orbit of Mars. Admiral Chen's face hardened. This changes everything. They're not coming to us. They want us to come to them. The revelation sparked intense debate within the IRTF and among world leaders. Some saw it as an exciting opportunity for humanity to take its first steps into interstellar diplomacy. Others, including Admiral Chen, viewed it with suspicion, concerned it could be a trap. Dr. Rodriguez argued passionately for accepting the invitation. This is the moment we've been preparing for. We can't let fear hold us back now. As plans were hurriedly made for a space mission to meet the Zar'khan, Samantha couldn't shake the feeling that this development was somehow connected to the secrets of Project Atlantis. The coordinates provided by the Zar'khan seemed to resonate with some of the cryptic information she had gleaned about Earth's hidden past. With only 30 days to prepare for humanity's most important journey, the IRT found itself racing against time. A crew had to be selected, a spacecraft prepared, and protocols established for this unprecedented encounter. Amidst the frantic preparations, Samantha received another encrypted message. The rendezvous is not what it seems. Project Atlantis must be activated before the meeting. Time is running out. As the countdown to the cosmic rendezvous began, Earth teetered on the brink of its greatest adventure and possibly its greatest peril. The stage was set for a revelation that would shatter the alien empire's plans and unleash Earth's hidden fleet, forever altering the course of human history and our place in the galaxy. The announcement of the Zar'khan's rendezvous coordinates sent the world into a frenzy of activity. With only 30 days to prepare for humanity's first interstellar mission, the International Extraterrestrial Response Task Force IRT found itself at the center of the most ambitious project in human history. Admiral Samantha Chen took charge of the mission planning, her years of Space Force experience proving invaluable. "We need the best of the best," she declared during an emergency IRTF meeting. "This crew will represent all of humanity. They need to be not just skilled, but adaptable, resilient, and diplomatic." The selection process was grueling. Thousands of top candidates from various fields, pilots, engineers, scientists, and diplomats were vetted in a matter of days. Political pressure to ensure diverse national representation added another layer of complexity to the process. Meanwhile, Dr. Elena Rodriguez coordinated with space agencies worldwide to fast-track the construction of humanity's first true interstellar vessel. The ship, dubbed Envoy, was a marvel of human engineering, incorporating the latest advancements in propulsion, life support, and communication technologies. "We're building in redundancies for systems we didn't even know we needed a year ago," Elena explained during a press conference, dark circles under her eyes betraying her exhaustion. "The Envoy needs to be ready for anything." As the days ticked by, Dr. Samantha Chen found herself torn between her official duties and her growing suspicions about Project Atlantis. She worked tirelessly to develop a communication system for the Envoy, one that incorporated her safeguards against potential Zar'khan influence. At the same time, she discreetly pursued leads on the mysterious project, convinced it held crucial information for the mission. 2 weeks before the launch date, the final crew was announced. 1. Captain Yuki Tanaka, a decorated Japanese astronaut with multiple long-duration space missions under her belt. 2. Dr. Samantha Chen, Chief Communications Officer and xenolinguist. 3. Dr. Kwame Osai, Ghanaian exobiologist and medical officer. 4. Major Zhang Wei, Chinese pilot and military liaison. 5. Dr. Sofia Valdez, Brazilian engineer and physics expert. 6. Dmitry Volkov, Russian diplomat and cultural specialist. The announcement of the crew sparked both excitement and controversy. Some praised the diverse representation, while others questioned the inclusion of a military officer and the apparent American absence in the core team. Admiral Chen defended the choices. "Each member brings unique skills critical to our mission. National boundaries mean little when we're representing all of Earth." As the launch date approached, final preparations reached a fever pitch. The Envoy underwent its last tests. The crew trained relentlessly in simulations, and the world held its collective breath. The night before the launch, Samantha received one final encrypted message. The key to Atlantis lies within the envoy. Trust no one but your crew. The fate of Earth depends on what you discover out there. As dawn broke on launch day, the envoy stood gleaming on the launch pad, humanity's hope and future embodied in its sleek form. The crew, dressed in their flight suits, posed for a historic photo, their faces a mixture of determination and awe at the responsibility they carried. Samantha, her mind racing with the weight of her secret knowledge about Project Atlantis, took her place among her crewmates. As the countdown began, she knew that this journey would not only take them to the stars, but also into the depths of Earth's hidden past. The world watched with bated breath as the envoy ignited its engines, ready to carry humanity's emissaries to their cosmic rendezvous and into an uncertain future that would reshape the galaxy. As the envoy's crew settled into their intensive training regimen, the diverse backgrounds and personalities of the team members quickly came to the fore. Their interactions, while mostly professional, were tinged with the tension and excitement of their unprecedented mission. Captain Yuki Tanaka, with her calm demeanor and years of space experience, naturally fell into the role of team leader. Her ability to remain composed under pressure was evident during their high-stress simulation exercises. "Remember," she often said, "out there, we're not just individuals, we're Earth's ambassadors." Dr. Samantha Chen found herself working closely with Dmitry Volkov, the Russian diplomat. Their task was to refine the communication protocols for the Zar'khan encounter. Dmitry's expertise in international relations complemented Samantha's linguistic skills, but she couldn't shake a nagging suspicion about his true motives. "Your safeguards are impressive, Dr. Chen," Dmitry remarked during one late-night session, "but aren't you worried they might be perceived as distrustful by our alien hosts?" Samantha carefully measured her response, mindful of the secret knowledge she carried about Project Atlantis. "In diplomacy, Dmitry, caution is not distrust. It's prudence." Dr. Quaim Osai and Dr. Sofia Valdez formed an unexpected bond, their shared scientific curiosity bridging the gap between biology and physics. They spent hours discussing the potential biological implications of faster-than-light travel and the physics of alien ecosystems. "Imagine," Quaim mused during a rare break, "we might be the first humans to set foot on an alien world. The biological implications are staggering." Sophia nodded enthusiastically, her eyes sparkling. "And the technology we might encounter, it could revolutionize our understanding of the universe." Major Zhang Wei, initially reserved, gradually opened up to the team during their grueling physical training sessions. His military background brought a sense of discipline that helped the crew push through the demanding exercises designed to prepare them for the unknown challenges of deep space. During a particularly tough simulation of emergency spacecraft repairs in zero gravity, Zhang surprised everyone with his dry humor. "If the aliens ask why we're sweating," he quipped while struggling with a stubborn panel, "tell them it's a human greeting ritual." The crew faced numerous challenges during their training. The compressed timeline meant they had to absorb vast amounts of information and master new skills in record time. The psychological pressure of their mission weighed heavily on all of them, leading to occasional flare-ups of tension. One particularly heated argument broke out during a debate about first contact protocols. Dmitry advocated for a more open approach, while Zhang insisted on maintaining a defensive posture. Captain Tanaka had to intervene, reminding them of the importance of presenting a united front. "Our differences are our strength," she said firmly. "But out there, we must move as one." As the training progressed, Samantha found it increasingly difficult to keep her knowledge about Project Atlantis to herself. The information seemed to connect to so many aspects of their mission, yet she feared the consequences of sharing it without understanding its full implications. During a rare moment alone with Captain Tanaka, Samantha almost confided in her. "Captain, there's something I need to," she began, but was interrupted by an alert calling them to an emergency briefing. The interruption felt symbolic of the larger forces at play, forces that Samantha knew were shaping their mission in ways her crewmates couldn't imagine. As they rushed to the briefing room, she resolved to remain vigilant, watching for any sign that might connect their cosmic journey to Earth's hidden past. With each passing day, the crew grew more cohesive, their individual strengths blending into a formidable team. Yet as the launch date loomed ever closer, the weight of their responsibility and the unknown dangers that awaited them hung heavy in the air. They were no longer just 6 individuals. They had become humanity's best hope for navigating the treacherous waters of first contact. Launch day arrived with a mix of anticipation and solemnity that permeated the air at the newly constructed International Spaceport. The sky was a brilliant blue, as if nature itself was bidding the envoy a clear passage to the stars. As dawn broke, the crew of 6 emerged from their quarantine facility, greeted by a chorus of cheers from the assembled crowd of officials, family members, and select media. Each step towards the shuttle that would take them to the envoy felt momentous, laden with the weight of history. Captain Yuki Tanaka led the way, her face a mask of calm determination. Behind her, Samantha Chen couldn't help but scan the crowd, wondering if any of the faces belonged to the mysterious figures behind Project Atlantis. The other crew members followed, each lost in their own thoughts as they prepared to leave their home world behind. The farewell ceremonies were brief but poignant. World leaders delivered short speeches via holographic projections, their words echoing the hopes and fears of billions. Secretary General Amara Okoro's voice cracked with emotion as she concluded, "Today, you carry with you not just the flag of Earth, but the dreams of every child who has ever looked up at the stars in wonder." As the crew prepared to board, they were allowed a final moment with their loved ones. Dr. Kwame Osai embraced his young daughter, whispering promises of return. Sophia Valdez shared a tearful hug with her parents, while Zhang Dui saluted his commanding officer one last time. Dmitry Volkov stood alone, his eyes fixed on the envoy looming in the distance. Samantha, her parents long gone, found herself surprisingly comforted by the presence of Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who had become a mentor and friend over the past months. "Remember," Elena said softly, "trust your instincts. They've gotten you this far." With a final wave to the crowds, the crew boarded the shuttle. As the doors sealed shut, Captain Tanaka's voice came through clear on the intercom. "This is it, team. Let's make Earth proud." The journey to the envoy, waiting in low Earth orbit, was smooth and quick. As they approached the interstellar vessel, a hushed awe fell over the crew. The envoy was a testament to human ingenuity, sleek, powerful, and built for a journey beyond anything humanity had attempted before. Docking procedures went off without a hitch, and soon the crew was aboard their home for the coming months. As they strapped into their acceleration couches for the departure burn, Samantha felt a surge of conflicting emotions: excitement, fear, and a gnawing uncertainty about the secrets she carried. "Envoy, you are cleared for departure," came the voice of Mission Control. "Godspeed and safe travels." Captain Tanaka's steady voice responded, "Roger that, Control. Initiating departure sequence." The ship hummed to life, its advanced engines powering up. There was a moment of breathless anticipation, and then acceleration. The force pushed them back into their seats as the envoy broke free from Earth's orbit, embarking on humanity's first journey into deep space. As the blue marble of Earth receded in the viewport, Sophia voiced what they were all feeling. "It's really happening. We're on our way to meet aliens." The initial hours of the journey were filled with system checks and settling into their new routines. But as Earth disappeared from view and the vastness of space enveloped them, the magnitude of their mission began to sink in. That night cycle, as most of the crew slept, Samantha found herself in the observation dome, staring out at the star-filled void. The encrypted message about Project Atlantis weighed heavily on her mind. "The key to Atlantis lies within the envoy," it had said. As she gazed into the cosmic abyss, she couldn't shake the feeling that somewhere out there, amidst the stars, lay answers that would change everything, not just for their mission, but for the very history of Earth itself. With a mix of trepidation and resolve, Samantha knew that as they journeyed towards their rendezvous with the Zar'khan, she would need to unravel the mystery of Project Atlantis. The fate of two civilizations might very well depend on it. As the envoy cruised through the vast expanse of space, the crew settled into a rhythm of research, preparation, and routine maintenance. However, 17 days into their journey, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship, shattering the calm. Captain Tanaka's voice crackled over the intercom. "All hands to emergency stations. We have a critical situation." The crew rushed to their designated positions, adrenaline pumping. Samantha arrived at the bridge to find Captain Tanaka and Major Zhang already assessing the situation. "We've got a cascading failure in the life support systems," Zhang reported, his fingers flying over the holographic displays. "Oxygen levels are dropping, and the CO2 scrubbers are offline." Dr. Sophia Valdez's voice came through the comm system. "Captain, I'm in engineering. It looks like a micrometeoroid impact has damaged the external housing of the life support module. We're losing atmosphere." Captain Tanaka's face remained composed, but her voice carried the weight of their predicament. "All right, people, we've trained for this. Dr. Valdez, begin emergency repairs. Dr. Osai, monitor life signs and prepare emergency oxygen if needed. Major Zhang, reroute power to seal off any breaches. Dr. Chen, assist where needed and keep communication channels clear." As the crew sprang into action, Samantha couldn't help but wonder if this malfunction was truly an accident or somehow related to the secrets of Project Atlantis. She pushed the thought aside, focusing on the crisis at hand. Sophia and Dmitri, suited up for an emergency EVA, ventured outside to assess and repair the damage. Their voices, tense but professional, came through the comm system as they worked against time. "The impact has created a spider web of cracks," Sophia reported. "We need to apply the emergency sealant before we lose more atmosphere." Inside, Dr. Osai worked feverishly to optimize the remaining life support systems, his medical training proving crucial in managing the crew's declining oxygen levels. "We have about 3 hours before oxygen levels become critical," he warned. Major Zhang, meanwhile, coordinated with the ship's AI to redirect power and seal off non-essential areas of the ship to conserve oxygen. As minutes ticked by, the situation grew more dire. The emergency sealant wasn't holding as well as hoped, and oxygen levels continued to drop. It was then that Samantha had an idea. "Captain," she said, "the xenolinguistics lab. We have experimental atmospheric modulators there, designed to simulate alien environments. Could we repurpose them to generate oxygen?" Captain Tanaka's eyes lit up. "Brilliant, Dr. Chen. Make it happen." Samantha raced to the lab, her mind racing. As she worked to reconfigure the modulators, she couldn't shake the feeling that her knowledge of these devices was somehow tied to the cryptic messages about Project Atlantis. But there was no time to dwell on it now. With Sophia and Dmitri still working outside, and the rest of the crew coordinating efforts inside, they managed to stabilize the ship's atmosphere. The repurposed modulators began producing oxygen, buying them precious time to complete repairs. Hours later, exhausted but triumphant, the crew gathered on the bridge. Captain Tanaka looked at each of them with pride. "Outstanding work, everyone. We faced our first real test out here and came through together." As the adrenaline wore off, Samantha found herself both exhilarated by their success and troubled by lingering questions. The modulators had worked almost too perfectly, as if they were designed for just such an emergency. It was another piece of the puzzle surrounding Project Atlantis, one she was determined to solve. The incident had brought the crew closer together, forging them into a more cohesive unit. But for Samantha, it also underscored the weight of the secrets she carried. As they continued their journey towards the rendezvous with the Zar'khan, she knew that unraveling the mystery of Project Atlantis wasn't just a personal quest, it could be crucial to their very survival. As the envoy approached the outer reaches of the solar system, the crew's anticipation grew palpable. They were venturing further than any human had ever gone before, each passing moment bringing them closer to their rendezvous with the Zar'khan. It was during a routine sensor sweep that Dr. Sophia Valdez first noticed the anomaly. "Captain," she called out, her voice tinged with excitement and apprehension. "I'm picking up an unusual energy signature about 500,000 kilometers ahead." Captain Tanaka immediately called the crew to the bridge. As they gathered around the holographic display, a small object came into view, sleek, metallic, and unmistakably artificial. "It's a probe," Major Zhang stated, his military training evident in his cautious tone. "And it's definitely not one of ours." Dr. Quaim Osai leaned in, his eyes wide with wonder. "This is it. Our first tangible evidence of the Zar'khan civilization." As the envoy drew closer, the alien nature of the probe became even more apparent. Its surface seemed to shimmer and shift, defying easy visual classification. Samantha felt a chill run down her spine as she realized the probe's appearance reminded her of some of the cryptic symbols associated with Project Atlantis. "It's beautiful," Dimitri murmured, voicing the awe they all felt. Captain Tanaka turned to Samantha. "Dr. Chen, can you attempt communication?" Samantha nodded, her fingers dancing over the communication console as she initiated the first contact protocols they had prepared. However, before she could transmit anything, the probe reacted. A beam of soft, blue light emanated from the probe, enveloping the envoy. Immediately, the ship's systems began to light up with activity. "It's scanning us," Sophia reported, her voice a mix of fascination and concern. "The level of detail it's beyond anything we've ever encountered. It's reading our ship's composition down to the molecular level." The crew watched in amazement as complex data streams flowed across their screens, the probe effortlessly interfacing with their systems despite their supposed incompatibility. "This technology," Zhang said, shaking his head in disbelief, "it's centuries beyond ours." Suddenly, Samantha's console lit up. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission. It's in our language. Perfect English." The message that appeared on the main screen left them all speechless. "Greetings, Envoy crew. Your arrival has been anticipated. This automated sentinel confirms your identity and intentions as peaceful. Proceed to the designated coordinates. The Zar'khan await your presence. Be advised, further surprises may challenge your perceptions. All is not as it seems." As quickly as it had appeared, the probe retracted its scanning beam and moved away, its surface rippling like liquid metal before it vanished in a flash of light. The bridge fell silent, each crew member grappling with the implications of what they had just witnessed. The advanced nature of the probe hinted at a civilization far beyond their imagining, both thrilling and terrifying in its potential. For Samantha, the encounter stirred something deeper. The probe's ability to communicate so effortlessly, its shifting appearance, and the cryptic warning all seemed to resonate with her fragmented knowledge of Project Atlantis. She couldn't shake the feeling that Earth's hidden past and this alien civilization were somehow intertwined. Captain Tanaka's voice broke the silence. "Well, crew, it seems our hosts have rolled out the welcome mat. Let's proceed with caution. Dr. Chen, I want a full analysis of that message. Major Zhang, keep our defensive systems on alert, just in case. The rest of you, prepare for potential contact. We're entering uncharted territory now." As the envoy resumed its course towards the rendezvous coordinates, the crew's excitement was tempered by a new sense of uncertainty. The encounter with the probe had given them a glimpse of the advanced civilization they were about to meet, but it had also raised countless new questions. Samantha, her mind racing with possibilities, knew that the true test was yet to come. As they ventured further into the unknown, she couldn't help but feel that the fate of Earth, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hinged on what they would discover in the coming days. As the envoy approached the designated rendezvous coordinates, a palpable tension filled the ship. The crew, having spent weeks in the vastness of space, now found themselves on the precipice of a moment that would change human history forever. Captain Yuki Tanaka's calm voice broke the silence on the bridge. "All hands, prepare for arrival. Dr. Chen, status on communications." Samantha, her eyes fixed on her console, replied, "All systems ready, Captain. Translation matrices are primed and waiting." The rest of the crew reported in, Dr. Quaim Osai monitoring life support and preparing for potential biological contact. Dr. Sophia Valdez keeping a close eye on the ship's systems. Major Zhang Y at the helm with defensive systems on standby, and Dmitry Volkov ready to assist with diplomatic protocols. As they neared the coordinates, Sophia's voice suddenly cut through the tension. "Captain, I'm detecting a massive energy signature directly ahead." The main view screen flickered to life, and collective gasps filled the bridge. Before them, seemingly materializing out of the void, was a structure of impossible scale and beauty. The Zar'khan ship, if it could be called a ship, defied human comprehension. It appeared as a vast, shimmering construct of interlocking geometric shapes, constantly shifting and realigning. Iridescent colors played across its surface, reminiscent of the probe they had encountered earlier, but on a scale that dwarfed the envoy. "My God," breathed Dmitry, his usual composure shaken. It's like a city in space." Dr. Osai, his scientific curiosity overriding his awe, was already taking readings. "The biomarkers, they're unlike anything we've ever seen. It's as if the ship itself is alive." Samantha felt a chill run down her spine. The sight before her stirred something deep in her memory's fragmented images from the Project Atlantis files she had glimpsed. The geometric patterns, the living metal, it all seemed hauntingly familiar. Captain Tanaka's steady voice anchored them all. "Stay focused, everyone. Dr. Chen, are we receiving any transmissions?" Before Samantha could respond, a beam of soft, purple light enveloped the envoy. Unlike the probe's scan, this felt different, almost welcoming. Suddenly, every screen on the bridge came to life with a message. "Greetings, children of Earth. You have journeyed far, and we welcome you. Prepare for docking sequence. Your questions will be answered, and a great truth shall be revealed." The message was in perfect English, yet Samantha could detect layers of meaning beneath the words, nuances that her linguistic training told her shouldn't be possible in a simple text transmission. As the envoy was gently guided towards the massive alien structure, Major Zhang voiced the concern they all felt. "Captain, are we sure about this? Once we dock, we're completely at their mercy." Captain Tanaka nodded gravely. "We've come too far to turn back now, Major. But stay alert. Everyone, remember your training. We're making history here, but we're also representing all of humanity. Let's do this right." As the ship approached a shimmering portal that seemed to open like a flower, Samantha couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the verge of uncovering something monumental, not just about the Zar'khan, but about Earth's own hidden past. The envoy glided into a vast docking bay that seemed to defy the laws of physics, with gravity and atmosphere seamlessly adjusting to human norms. As the crew prepared for disembarkation, Samantha's mind raced. The secrets of Project Atlantis, the advanced nature of the Zar'khan, the strange familiarity of their technology, all of it was converging into a mystery she was determined to unravel. As the airlock cycled, preparing to open onto an alien world, Captain Tanaka turned to her crew. "This is it, everyone. Whatever happens next, we face it together. For Earth." The airlock hissed open, and with hearts pounding, the crew of the envoy took their first steps into a new chapter of human history, unaware of the earth-shattering revelations that awaited them. As the airlock doors of the envoy slid open, the crew stepped into a vast, shimmering chamber that seemed to defy the laws of physics. The air was breathable and gravity felt normal, yet everything about the environment spoke of advanced technology far beyond human understanding. Captain Tanaka led the way, her posture straight and confident despite the uncertainty that gripped them all. The rest of the crew followed closely, each lost in their own thoughts and observations. Suddenly, a ripple of movement caught their attention. From the far end of the chamber, 3 figures approached. As they drew closer, the humans got their first clear look at the Zar'khan. The aliens were tall, easily 7 feet in height, with slender, graceful bodies that seemed to shimmer and shift like the walls around them. Their skin was a pale, iridescent blue, covered in intricate patterns that pulsed with soft light. Most striking were their eyes, large, multifaceted orbs that reflected the colors of their surroundings. Dr. Osai whispered in awe, "Bioluminescent communication. Fascinating." As the two groups stood face to face, an uncomfortable silence fell. The humans, despite all their preparation, found themselves at a loss for words. It was Samantha who broke the silence, stepping forward and raising her hand in a gesture of peace. "Greetings," she said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "We come in peace as representatives of Earth." The central Zar'khan figure raised a hand in response, its fingers elongated and webbed. Suddenly, the air between them shimmered, and a melodious voice filled their minds. "Welcome, Earthborn. We are the Zar'khan, guardians of the cosmic confluence. Your journey here marks a significant moment in the grand tapestry of existence." The humans exchanged glances, startled by the telepathic communication. Dmitri, ever the diplomat, recovered first. "We are honored to meet you. We come seeking knowledge and friendship." The Zar'khan's bioluminescent patterns shifted, creating a mesmerizing display. The voice in their minds continued, "Your intentions are pure, yet we sense confusion and hidden truths among you." Samantha felt a chill run down her spine, wondering if they somehow knew about Project Atlantis. Captain Tanaka, maintaining her composure, addressed the aliens directly. "We have many questions and much to learn from each other. We hope this meeting can be the beginning of a fruitful exchange between our civilizations." The Zar'khan's response was unexpected. Their patterns flared brightly, and the voice in their minds took on a tone of what could only be described as amusement. "Civilizations? Oh, young ones, there is much you do not yet understand. But come, let us begin the unveiling." As the aliens turned to lead them deeper into the structure, Major Zhang whispered to Captain Tanaka, "I don't like this. They seem to know more about us than they should." Samantha, overhearing, couldn't shake the feeling that Zhang was right. The Zar'khan's words and behavior hinted at knowledge. They shouldn't possess knowledge that seemed to align with the fragments she knew about Project Atlantis. As they followed their alien hosts, cultural misunderstandings quickly became apparent. The Zar'khan moved in fluid, synchronized motions that seemed to carry meaning, but were lost on the humans. When Dr. Valdez attempted to take readings with her handheld device, the nearest Zar'khan recoiled, its patterns flashing in what appeared to be distress. "Apologies," the voice echoed in their minds. "Your crude instruments are disharmonious. Please, observe with your natural senses only." The comment about crude instruments stung the pride of the human scientists, but they complied, not wanting to risk offense. As they entered a vast chamber filled with swirling holographic displays, the lead Zar'khan turned to face them. Its multifaceted eyes seemed to peer into their very souls as it spoke. "Children of Earth, you stand on the threshold of a truth that will reshape your understanding of the cosmos, of your own history, and of the nature of existence itself. Are you prepared to receive this knowledge?" The crew exchanged nervous glances. Captain Tanaka, speaking for them all, nodded solemnly. "We are ready." As the chamber around them came to life with swirling images and pulsating energy, Samantha felt a surge of anticipation and fear. Whatever was about to be revealed, she sensed it was intimately connected to the secrets of Project Atlantis and to the true nature of humanity's place in the universe. The unveiling was about to begin, and with it, a revelation that would shatter everything they thought they knew about their world and their own history. As the unveiling began, the vast chamber transformed into a mesmerizing display of holographic information. The Zar'khan guided the human crew through a whirlwind tour of advanced scientific concepts, from quantum mechanics on a scale that made Earth's understanding seem primitive, to energy manipulation techniques that bordered on the magical. Dr. Sophia Valdez, her eyes wide with wonder, absorbed every detail she could. "This is incredible," she breathed. "Their understanding of dark energy alone could revolutionize our entire approach to space travel." The Zar'khan, their patterns pulsing with what seemed to be pride, projected their thoughts. "We have cultivated this knowledge over millennia. Your species is young, but we see great potential in you." However, as the exchange continued, moments arose where the humans managed to surprise their alien hosts. During a discussion on theoretical physics, Dr. Valdez proposed an innovative solution to a problem the Zar'khan had presented. "But what if we approach it from a multidimensional perspective?" she suggested, quickly sketching out a complex equation on her tablet. "By considering time as a malleable dimension, we could potentially bypass the energy requirements altogether." The Zar'khan fell silent, their bioluminescent patterns flickering rapidly as they processed the idea. Finally, the lead alien responded, a note of surprise in its mental voice. "Fascinating. We had not considered this approach. Your perspective offers a unique insight." This exchange marked a turning point. The Zar'khan began to engage more actively with the humans, genuinely curious about their thought processes. Dr. Quaim Osai found himself in an animated discussion about biology and ecosystems. When he explained Earth's incredible biodiversity and the complex web of interdependencies in its ecosystems, the Zar'khan showed great interest. "Your planet's ability to sustain such varied life forms is remarkable," they communicated. "This resilience and adaptability could hold keys to biological engineering we had not considered." Even in areas where human technology lagged far behind, the Zar'khan found themselves impressed by human ingenuity and resourcefulness. Major Zhang Wei, discussing defense systems, described how humans had developed advanced cybersecurity protocols to protect against threats they couldn't even fully understand. "Preparation for the unknown," the Zar'khan mused. "A valuable trait indeed." Samantha Chen, while actively participating in the linguistic and cultural exchanges, couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this interaction than met the eye. The Zar'khan's interest in human creativity and adaptability seemed to go beyond mere scientific curiosity. As the exchange continued, Captain Tanaka noticed a shift in the aliens' behavior. They began to ask more pointed questions about human history, particularly about ancient civilizations and unexplained technological leaps. "Tell us," the lead Zar'khan projected, its multifaceted eyes fixed on Samantha, "about your theories regarding the sudden advancements in human civilization around 10,000 years ago." Samantha felt a jolt of recognition. This was dangerously close to the fragments of information she had about Project Atlantis. She chose her words carefully. "There are many theories, but no concrete evidence. It remains one of the great mysteries of our past." The Zar'khan's patterns shifted in a way that Samantha was beginning to recognize as deep interest or possibly concern. "Mysteries of the past," they echoed. "Perhaps it is time to shed light on those mysteries." As the scientific exchange wound down, the crew of the Envoy found themselves both exhilarated by the knowledge they had gained and unsettled by the growing sense that they were on the verge of a revelation that went far beyond mere scientific discovery. The lead Zar'khan, its form seeming to shimmer with anticipation, addressed the group. "You have shown us that your species, despite its youth, possesses remarkable potential. Now, we must show you something that will challenge everything you believe about your place in the cosmos." As the chamber began to shift around them once more, Samantha exchanged a worried glance with Captain Tanaka. Whatever was coming next, she sensed it would be the key to unlocking the secrets of Project Atlantis, and perhaps the true nature of humanity's relationship with the Zar'khan. The unveiling was entering its final, most crucial phase, and the fate of two civilizations hung in the balance. As the scientific exchange drew to a close, the Zar'khan led the human crew to what appeared to be a ceremonial chamber. The walls pulsed with intricate, shifting patterns, and at the center stood a crystalline structure that emitted a soft, pulsating light. "We shall now perform the ritual of cosmic harmony," the lead Zar'khan projected into their minds. "This sacred ceremony will align our energies and prepare us for the final revelation." The human crew, though somewhat bewildered, prepared to participate. However, as the ritual began, a series of misunderstandings quickly escalated into a diplomatic crisis. Dr. Osai, fascinated by the bioluminescent displays, reached out to touch one of the pulsating walls. Instantly, the Zar'khan recoiled, their patterns flaring in what seemed to be alarm or offense. "Desecration!" the alien thought voice boomed in their minds. The sacred patterns must not be touched by the uninitiated. Simultaneously, Major Zhang, acting on military instinct, moved to position himself protectively near Captain Tanaka when one of the Zar'khan approached her with an ornate object. This defensive posture was interpreted by the aliens as an aggressive stance. The chamber's atmosphere quickly shifted from ceremonial to tense. The Zar'khan's patterns became erratic, and the humans could sense waves of disapproval and anger emanating from their hosts. "We had hoped you were ready," the lead Zar'khan projected, its mental voice tinged with disappointment. "But it seems the chasm between our species is too great. Perhaps this union is premature." Captain Tanaka, realizing the gravity of the situation, stepped forward. "Please, there has been a misunderstanding. We meant no disrespect." But the Zar'khan were already retreating, the chamber's lights dimming ominously. It was at this crucial moment that Samantha Chen's unique insights into both human and alien perspectives came to the fore. Drawing on her knowledge of linguistics, cultural anthropology, and the fragments she knew about Project Atlantis, she formulated a daring plan. "Wait," she called out, both verbally and projecting her thoughts as strongly as she could. "Let us show you our own ritual of harmony." The Zar'khan paused, curiosity temporarily overriding their offense. Samantha quickly turned to her crewmates, whispering urgently, "Follow my lead. We're going to create a human mandala." Understanding dawned on their faces. Quickly, the crew arranged themselves in a circle. Samantha began to hum a low, resonant tone, and one by one, the others joined in, each adding their own note to create a complex harmony. As they hummed, they began to move slowly, weaving around each other in intricate patterns. Dr. Valdez and Dr. Osei, grasping Samantha's intent, used their tablets to project soft lights that danced in sync with their movements. The effect was mesmerizing. The human crew had essentially created a living, auditory and visual mandala, a human equivalent of the Zar'khan's bioluminescent communications. The aliens watched in fascination, their own patterns beginning to pulse in rhythm with the human display. Samantha, maintaining her part in the harmony, projected her thoughts toward the Zar'khan. "This is our ritual of understanding. In it, we symbolize the cosmic dance of diversity and unity. Many parts, one whole. Many species, one universe." The lead Zar'khan stepped forward, its multifaceted eyes reflecting the dancing lights. Slowly, it began to move in sync with the humans, its own bioluminescent patterns joining the display. One by one, the other Zar'khan joined, until aliens and humans were moving together in a breathtaking display of interspecies harmony. As the impromptu ritual reached its crescendo, a wave of mutual understanding seemed to wash over both species. The tension in the chamber dissipated, replaced by a sense of profound connection. The lead Zar'khan's mental voice, when it came, was filled with warmth and respect. "We see now the depth of your species' wisdom and creativity. You have shown us that there are many paths to harmony. We were hasty in our judgment, and for that, we apologize." Captain Tanaka, her eyes shining with pride for her crew, stepped forward. "And we apologize for our unintended transgressions. We have much to learn from each other." The Zar'khan's patterns shifted in what the humans were beginning to recognize as joy. Indeed, perhaps this union is not premature after all, but right on time. Come, let us proceed with the final revelation. You have proven yourselves ready. As the chamber began to transform once more, Samantha felt a surge of anticipation. Their quick thinking had not only averted a diplomatic disaster, but seemed to have deepened the connection between humans and Zar'khan. Whatever revelations awaited them, she sensed they were now truly prepared to face them together. The secrets of Project Atlantis, the true nature of humanity's past, and the future of interstellar relations all hung in the balance as they prepared for the final unveiling. As the harmonious energy from their shared ritual lingered in the air, the lead Zar'khan's multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer with a new depth of respect for the human crew. The aliens' bioluminescent patterns pulsed in a rhythm that Samantha was beginning to interpret as anticipation or excitement. You have demonstrated wisdom and adaptability beyond our initial expectations. The Zar'khan's thoughts resonated in their minds. Before we proceed with the final revelation, we extend to you an invitation of great significance. The chamber around them shifted once more, transforming into a breathtaking vista of an alien world. Massive crystalline structures rose from a landscape of swirling, iridescent plains. The sky was awash with colors the human eye had never seen, and in the distance, what appeared to be floating cities drifted serenely. "This is Zar'khania, our homeworld," the alien continued. "We invite you to visit, to witness firsthand the full extent of our civilization, and to deepen the bond between our species." The human crew stood in awe, their minds reeling from both the beauty of the alien world and the magnitude of the invitation. Captain Tanaka was the first to find her voice. "This is an incredible honor. We're deeply grateful for your trust in us." However, as the initial shock wore off, the implications of such a journey began to sink in. The crew exchanged glances, a mix of excitement and concern evident on their faces. Major Zhang was the first to voice his reservations. "Captain, while this is an unprecedented opportunity, we must consider the risks. We're not equipped for an extended journey beyond our planned mission parameters." Dr. Osai nodded in agreement. "There are also biological concerns to consider. We don't know how our bodies might react to prolonged exposure to an alien environment." Dr. Valdez, however, could barely contain her enthusiasm. "But think of the scientific advancements we could make. The knowledge we could gain from observing their world up close would be invaluable." Dmitri, ever the diplomat, added his perspective. "This could be a crucial step in establishing long-term relations between our species. The political implications back on Earth would be enormous." As the debate continued, Samantha found herself torn. The invitation aligned eerily well with some of the fragments she knew about Project Atlantis, hints of an ancient connection between Earth and an advanced alien civilization. Could Zar'khania hold the keys to unlocking those secrets? Captain Tanaka listened to her crew's arguments, her face a mask of thoughtful concentration. Finally, she turned to address the Zar'khan. "Your invitation is generous beyond measure. However, this decision affects not just us, but all of humanity. We need time to discuss and to consult with our leaders back on Earth." The Zar'khan's patterns shifted in what Samantha was beginning to recognize as understanding. "Of course, time flows differently for our kinds, but we understand the weight of this decision. We shall grant you the time you need to reach consensus." As the alien representatives withdrew to give the humans privacy for their deliberation, Captain Tanaka gathered her crew. "All right, everyone. We need to weigh this carefully. Our mission was to make contact and gather information, not to embark on an interstellar journey to an alien world." The debate that followed was intense. Major Zhang and Dr. Osai continued to voice concerns about safety and the unknown risks. Dr. Valdez and Dmitri argued passionately for accepting the invitation, citing the potential benefits to science and diplomacy. Samantha, when asked for her opinion, spoke carefully. "There's something more going on here than we fully understand. I believe visiting their world could provide answers to questions we haven't even thought to ask yet about them, and possibly about ourselves." As the discussion continued, the crew became aware of the monumental nature of their decision. They were not just choosing for themselves, but potentially shaping the future of human-alien relations for generations to come. Captain Tanaka, after listening to all perspectives, made her decision. "We'll send a message back to Earth with all the information we have. We'll recommend accepting the invitation, but with conditions: a limited initial visit, with proper preparations and safeguards in place." As they prepared to communicate their decision to both Earth and the Zar'khan, tension and excitement filled the air. They stood on the brink of an adventure beyond anything they had imagined when they first set out from Earth. Samantha, her mind racing with the possibilities, couldn't shake the feeling that this journey to Zar'khania would be the key to unlocking the mysteries of Project Atlantis, and with it, the true history of humanity's place in the cosmos. The crew of the Envoy, having faced diplomatic crises and alien wonders, now prepared themselves for what could be their greatest challenge, yet a voyage to a truly alien world, and the revelations that awaited them there. The decision to accept the Zar'khan's invitation, albeit with conditions, set in motion a flurry of activity aboard the envoy. Earth's response had come swiftly, a mix of cautious approval and barely contained excitement from world leaders and scientific communities alike. With the green light given, Captain Yuki Tanaka and her crew found themselves preparing for a journey beyond anything humanity had ever attempted. As the envoy, guided by Zar'khan technology, prepared to traverse the vast distance to their homeworld, the crew worked tirelessly to ready themselves for the unknown. Dr. Kwame Osai spent hours in the ship's medical bay, developing preventative measures against potential alien pathogens. "We're entering an entirely new biosphere," he explained during a crew briefing. "Our immune systems will be facing challenges they've never encountered before. These boosters should help, but we'll need to remain vigilant." Dr. Sofia Valdez, her eyes alight with scientific fervor, had transformed a section of the ship into an impromptu xenotechnology lab. "The Zar'khan have agreed to let us bring some of our equipment," she said, carefully calibrating a series of sensors. "We'll be gathering data on everything from their atmosphere composition to their energy utilization methods." Major Zhang Wei, ever cautious, worked with the ship's systems to enhance their defensive and communication capabilities. "We're going in peace," he reminded the crew, "but we need to be prepared for any eventuality." Dmitry Volkov immersed himself in the cultural and diplomatic briefings provided by the Zar'khan, his diplomatic skills being honed to navigate the complexities of alien etiquette. "Their social structures are fascinatingly complex," he mused. "It's crucial we don't inadvertently cause offense as we did during the ritual." As for Dr. Samantha Chen, she found herself at the center of a whirlwind of activity. Her unique insights into the Zar'khan language and behavior made her invaluable in preparations for the visit. Yet, as she worked, her mind kept returning to the mysteries of Project Atlantis. The upcoming visit to Zar'khania felt like a pivotal moment, one that might finally shed light on the fragments of knowledge she carried. Captain Tanaka oversaw it all, her calm demeanor a steadying influence on the excited crew. "Remember," she told them during their final briefing before departure, "we're not just scientists or diplomats anymore. We're the first humans to set foot on an alien world. Every action we take will be historic." As the envoy prepared to depart, guided by Zar'khan vessels, the crew gathered on the bridge. Through the viewscreen, they watched as their familiar stars gave way to the unknown. The journey would take several days, even with the advanced propulsion provided by their alien hosts. During quiet moments, the crew found themselves speculating about what they might find on Zar'khania. "I bet their cities are works of art," Sophia mused. "Imagine architecture that responds to thought." "I'm more interested in their ecosystems," Kwame added. "How does life evolve on a world so different from Earth?" Zhang, ever practical, wondered about their defenses. "A civilization this advanced must have faced threats we can't even imagine. What can we learn from their security measures?" Dmitry was curious about their governance. "Do they have nations? A unified world government? The implications for Earth could be profound." Samantha, listening to her crewmates, felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. The questions swirling in her mind went beyond mere scientific curiosity. What was the true nature of the Zar'khan's interest in humanity? How did it connect to the secrets hinted at in Project Atlantis? As the alien world grew closer, Captain Tanaka called the crew together one last time. "We're about to make history," she said, her voice steady but tinged with awe. "Whatever we find on Zar'khania, remember our mission: to learn, to understand, and to represent the best of humanity." The crew nodded solemnly, each lost in their own thoughts as they prepared for their greatest adventure yet. As the swirling, iridescent sphere of Zar'khania came into view, filling the envoy's viewscreen with its alien beauty, they knew they were on the brink of discoveries that would change everything. Samantha, her heart racing with anticipation, couldn't shake the feeling that the answers she sought about Project Atlantis, about humanity's past, and about the future of Earth's relationship with the cosmos all lay waiting for her on the surface of this strange, beautiful world. As the envoy began its descent towards Zar'khania, the crew of Earth's first interstellar mission prepared to take their first steps into a truly alien world, and into a new chapter of human history. As the envoy entered Zar'khania's atmosphere, the crew stood transfixed at the viewports, their eyes wide with wonder. The alien world unfolded beneath them in a breathtaking panorama of colors and shapes that defied easy description. The sky was a swirling tapestry of purples and greens, punctuated by floating structures that seemed to defy gravity. As they descended, they saw vast cities that appeared to be living entities, buildings shifting and adapting in real time to some unseen stimuli. Captain Tanaka's voice, filled with awe, broke the silence. "My God, it's beautiful." The Zar'khan guide vessel led them towards a massive structure that seemed to be a blend of crystal and living tissue. As they approached, a portion of the structure opened like a flower, revealing an intricate docking bay. Once the envoy was secured, the crew prepared for disembarkation. Dr. Osai ran a final check on their environmental suits, which had been modified with Zar'khan technology to allow them to breathe the alien atmosphere safely. As the airlock cycled open, Samantha felt her heart racing. This was at the moment of first contact on an alien world. Captain Tanaka took the lead, stepping out onto the ramp. The rest of the crew followed, each lost in their own sense of awe and disbelief. The air around them shimmered with particles that seemed alive, responding to their presence with subtle shifts in color and movement. The ground beneath their feet had a slight give to it, almost as if they were walking on living tissue. A delegation of Zar'khan awaited them, their bioluminescent patterns pulsing in what Samantha interpreted as a welcoming gesture. The lead alien stepped forward, its thoughts projecting clearly into their minds. "Welcome to Zar'khania, honored guests from Earth. You are the first of your kind to set foot on our world. May this moment mark the beginning of a new era of understanding between our peoples." Dr. Valdez, unable to contain her scientific curiosity, was already taking readings with her modified equipment. "The energy readings here are off the charts," she whispered excitedly. "Their technology seems to be integrated seamlessly with the natural environment." Dmitri, ever observant of cultural nuances, noted the intricate patterns of movement among the Zar'khan. "Look at how they position themselves," he murmured to Samantha. "There's a clear social hierarchy, but it seems fluid, almost like a dance." Major Zhang, while outwardly composed, was clearly on high alert, his eyes darting from one marvel to another, assessing potential threats and defenses. "Their security measures are subtle but omnipresent," he noted. "I suspect we're being scanned and monitored in ways we can't even detect." As they were led from the docking bay into the heart of the Zar'khan city, the true scale of the alien civilization became apparent. Structures that dwarfed Earth's tallest skyscrapers rose around them, their surfaces alive with swirling patterns and pulsing lights. Vehicles that seemed to be made of pure energy zipped between buildings, leaving trails of shimmering particles in their wake. Dr. Osai, fascinated by the biological aspects of the environment, pointed out what appeared to be parks or green spaces. "Look at the flora," he said in amazement. "The plants seem to be communicating with each other and with the surrounding structures. It's as if the entire city is one giant, interconnected organism." Samantha, while sharing in her crewmates' awe, found her mind racing with connections to Project Atlantis. The advanced integration of technology and biology, the manipulation of energy and matter at a fundamental level, it all resonated with the fragments of information she had pieced together about Earth's hidden past. As they approached a vast, shimmering dome that the Zar'khan indicated was their seat of governance, Captain Tanaka gathered her crew for a quick huddle. "Remember," she said, her voice a mix of excitement and caution, "every observation, every interaction is crucial. We're not just explorers now, we're diplomats representing all of humanity. Stay alert, stay curious, but above all, stay respectful." The crew nodded, each feeling the weight of their responsibility and the incredible privilege of their position. as the doors of the dome parted, revealing a chamber of unimaginable complexity and beauty. Samantha felt a surge of anticipation. She couldn't shake the feeling that beyond these doors lay not just the marvels of an alien civilization, but answers to questions about humanity's own past and future, answers that had long been hidden in the shadows of Project Atlantis. With a deep breath, the crew of the Envoy stepped forward, ready to engage with the full wonder and complexity of Zar'khanian civilization, and to uncover truths that would reshape their understanding of the cosmos and their place within it. As the human crew settled into their role as Earth's first ambassadors on Zar'khania, a comprehensive cultural exchange program was initiated. The Zar'khan, eager to share their knowledge and learn about humanity, had prepared an immersive experience that would challenge and expand the crew's understanding of alien civilization. The exchange began in what the Zar'khan called the Hall of Resonance, a vast chamber where the walls seemed to pulse with living information. Here, the humans were introduced to the concept of thought weaving, a Zar'khanian method of communication that went beyond mere telepathy. Samantha, with her linguistic expertise, found herself at the forefront of this exchange. As she attempted to participate in a thought-weaving session, she was struck by a surprising realization. "It's not entirely alien," she explained to her crewmates later. "There are patterns here that resonate with some of humanity's oldest myths and symbols. It's as if there's a shared root to our ways of thinking." This observation sparked intense interest from both species. The Zar'khan were particularly intrigued by human concepts of individuality and emotional expression, which seemed to be less pronounced in their own society. Dr. Osai found himself engrossed in studying Zar'khanian biology. "Their cellular structure is fascinating," he reported during a crew debriefing. "It's as if each cell can function as part of the whole or as an independent organism. This could revolutionize our understanding of biology and medicine." However, the differences between the species were just as stark as the similarities. The Zar'khan concept of time, for instance, was radically different from the human linear perception. They existed in multiple temporal states simultaneously, a concept that Dr. Valdez struggled to quantify with Earth science. "Their technology isn't just advanced," she explained, her eyes wide with excitement. "It's fundamentally different. They don't just use energy, they shape the fabric of reality itself." Major Zhang, while impressed by the Zar'khan's apparent peacefulness, noted their approach to conflict resolution. "They don't have wars as we understand them," he reported. "But they have something they call harmonic realignment that seems to serve a similar function in their society. It's like debugging a program, but on a civilizational scale." Dmitri found the Zar'khan political structures both familiar and alien. "They have a form of governance," he explained, "but it's more like a constantly shifting consensus than any system we have on Earth. Every individual is somehow always part of the decision-making process." As the exchange progressed, both humans and Zar'khan found themselves reevaluating their assumptions. The aliens were fascinated by human art and music, finding the emotional rawness both disturbing and compelling. In turn, the humans were awed by Zar'khanian creative expressions that engaged senses they didn't even know they had. One particularly poignant moment came when Captain Tanaka shared stories of human history, including tales of conflict and war. The Zar'khan response was a mixture of horror and deep sadness, their bioluminescent patterns dimming noticeably. "Your species has endured much pain," the lead Zar'khan communicated. "Yet you have emerged with a capacity for hope and resilience that we find admirable." Throughout these exchanges, Samantha couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the similarities than mere coincidence. The resonances with Project Atlantis were becoming harder to ignore. When she shared her thoughts with Captain Tanaka, the captain nodded thoughtfully. "I've been feeling it too," Tanaka admitted. "There's something they're not telling us, something big, and I think it's time we ask the hard questions." As the cultural exchange program entered its final phases, the human crew prepared for what they sensed would be a pivotal revelation. The Zar'khan had promised to share the final truth about the relationship between their species, and the anticipation was palpable. Samantha, her mind racing with the implications of what they had learned and the secrets she carried, knew that whatever came next would change not just their mission, but the entire course of human history. As they gathered for the final session in the Hall of Resonance, she steeled herself for revelations that would challenge everything they thought they knew about their place in the universe. The truth about Project Atlantis, the hidden history of Earth, and the true nature of humanity's relationship with Zar'khan was about to be unveiled, and the consequences would reshape the galaxy itself. As the cultural exchange program reached its zenith, a series of unexpected events began to unfold, hinting at a hidden threat that loomed over both humanity and the Zar'khan. It started subtly. During a deep space communication session with Earth, Dr. Valdez noticed anomalies in the transmission. "These interference patterns," she muttered, frowning at her console, "they're not natural." Almost simultaneously, the Zar'khan equivalent of an alarm system activated, filling the air with discordant harmonic pulses that set the humans' teeth on edge. The lead Zar'khan's bioluminescent patterns flared with what Samantha recognized as urgency and concern. "We are detecting unauthorized incursions in our outer defense grid," the alien's thoughts projected, tinged with an emotion akin to fear. This has never happened before." Captain Tanaka, her military training kicking in, immediately offered assistance. "How can we help? What are we dealing with?" The answer came not from the Zar'khan, but from an unexpected source. A holographic display in the center of the room flickered to life, showing a star map of the local galactic sector. Red points of light were rapidly appearing, converging on both Earth and Zar'khania. "Oh no," Samantha breathed, a chill running down her spine. "It's happening, just like the Project Atlantis files predicted." Her crewmates turned to her in shock, but before they could question her, the lead Zar'khan's mental voice cut through their confusion. "We had hoped to reveal this to you gradually, but circumstances force our hand. Your Earth and our Zar'khania are not merely two civilizations meeting by chance. We share a common ancestry and a common enemy." The holographic display zoomed out, revealing a vast network of worlds spanning the galaxy. Many were highlighted in blue, representing allied worlds, but an alarming number glowed red. "The Void Heralds," the Zar'khan continued, its mental voice grim. "An ancient race that seeks to harvest the life force of entire planets. They were the reason your ancestors fled to Earth eons ago, hiding the planet behind a veil of technological regression to protect it." Major Zhang, his face pale, connected the dots. "Project Atlantis. It wasn't just about hidden technology, was it? It was a failsafe." Samantha nodded, the weight of her secret knowledge finally lifting. "A way to rapidly advance Earth's technology and awaken dormant abilities in humans, if the threat ever returned. That's why I was chosen for this mission. I'm a descendant of the original Guardians." The revelations came fast and furious after that. The Zar'khan explained how they had been watching over Earth from afar, waiting for the right moment to re-establish contact. The recent message and invitation had been carefully orchestrated to prepare humanity for the truth and for the coming conflict. But the Void Heralds had moved faster than anticipated. Now, both Earth and Zar'khania faced an imminent threat from a force that had already consumed countless worlds. As alarms blared and the Zar'khan mobilized their defenses, Captain Tanaka gathered her crew. "This goes beyond our original mission, beyond anything we could have imagined. But we're here, and we're possibly Earth's only warning system. We need to act." Dr. Osai, his scientific curiosity overridden by the gravity of the situation, spoke up. "If we share a common ancestry, could we potentially access some of the same advanced abilities as the Zar'khan?" The lead Zar'khan, overhearing this, turned to them. "Yes, the potential lies dormant within you. We can help awaken it. But the process is dangerous and irreversible. You must choose quickly." As the crew debated this monumental decision, more alerts flooded in. The Void Heralds were not just attacking, they were systematically taking out communication relays between allied worlds. The galaxy was going dark, sector by sector. Samantha, her mind reeling from the revelations and the weight of their situation, realized that the fate of not just Earth, but countless worlds now hung in the balance. The hidden fleet mentioned in the story's title suddenly took on a new meaning, not just Earth's secret defenses, but a galaxy-wide alliance of worlds descended from the same ancient civilization. As they prepared to make a decision that would alter the course of human history and the fate of the galaxy, Samantha couldn't help but feel that everything her selection for the mission, the discovery of the Zar'khan, the secrets of Project Atlantis had been leading to this moment. The true battle for Earth, for Zar'khania, and for the entire galaxy was about to begin, and humanity's role in this cosmic conflict was about to be defined. As the gravity of the situation sank in, the human crew found themselves thrust into a whirlwind of activity. The Zar'khan, now fully transparent about the looming threat, began sharing vast amounts of information about galactic defenses and the nature of the Void Heralds. However, as Samantha and her crewmates processed this deluge of data, inconsistencies began to emerge. It was Dr. Valdez who first noticed something amiss. While analyzing the star charts and defense grids, she spotted a pattern. These defensive positions, she mused, frowning at her holographic display, they're not just protecting against external threats. Some of these formations look like they're designed to contain something. Major Zhang, his military instincts piqued, joined her in scrutinizing the data. You're right. These aren't just defense grids, they're blockades. Their observations caught the attention of Captain Tanaka, who called for an immediate crew conference. As they shared their findings, a troubling picture began to emerge. Dmitri, applying his diplomatic expertise to the galactic political landscape, made a startling connection. These allied worlds the Zar'khan mentioned, not all of them seemed to be willing participants in this alliance. Samantha, drawing on her knowledge from Project Atlantis and her linguistic skills, began to decipher some of the coded transmissions embedded in the data streams. What she found shook her to the core. "Captain," she said, her voice trembling slightly, "the Zar'khan aren't just protectors, they're gatekeepers. They've been controlling the development and expansion of countless civilizations across the galaxy, including Earth." The revelation hit the crew like a shockwave. The Zar'khan, it seemed, had been manipulating galactic politics on a scale that was hard to comprehend. While they presented themselves as benevolent guardians against the Void Heralds, their actions suggested a more complex and morally ambiguous role. Dr. Osai, always focused on the biological aspects, made another disturbing discovery. The genetic modifications they offered us, they're not just enhancements. They're a form of control. It would make us more powerful, yes, but also more susceptible to Zar'khan influence. As the crew pieced together this hidden reality, they realized the true complexity of the galactic political landscape. The Void Heralds were indeed a threat, but they were also convenient bogeymen, used by the Zar'khan to justify their control over other civilizations. Captain Tanaka, her face grim, summarized their findings. "So we're not just facing an external enemy. We're caught in the middle of a galactic power struggle. The Zar'khan have been playing a long game, positioning themselves as saviors while maintaining control over countless worlds." The implications were staggering. Earth's isolation hadn't just been protection, it had been a form of quarantine. The recent contact and invitation hadn't been solely about preparing humanity for a coming threat. It had been about bringing Earth into the fold of Zar'khan control before humans could develop the capability to resist. As they grappled with this newfound knowledge, alarms blared once again. The Void Heralds were making their move, but now the crew saw the attack in a new light. It wasn't just an assault on allied worlds. It was an uprising against Zar'khan dominion. Samantha, her mind racing, realized the true significance of Project Atlantis. It wasn't just a failsafe against external threats. It was a safeguard against any single power, including the Zar'khan gaining complete control over humanity's destiny. The crew of the Envoy found themselves at a crossroads. They had uncovered a truth that changed everything. The galactic political landscape was far more complex and morally gray than they had been led to believe. Now, they faced a monumental decision: how to proceed with this knowledge. Whose side should they take in this cosmic conflict? And most importantly, how could they ensure Earth's true independence in a galaxy fraught with hidden agendas and ancient power struggles? As they prepared to confront their Zar'khan host with their discoveries, the crew knew that their next actions would not just determine the fate of Earth, but could potentially reshape the balance of power across the entire galaxy. The observation deck of the Envoy had become a war room of sorts, with holographic displays flickering all around the human crew. Captain Yuki Tanaka stood at the center, her usually calm demeanor now etched with the weight of their recent discoveries. "All right, team," she began, her voice steady despite the tension in the air. "We need to decide our next move, and quickly. The fate of Earth and potentially the entire galaxy hangs in the balance." Samantha Chen, her mind still reeling from the connections she'd made between Project Atlantis and the true nature of galactic politics, spoke up first. "We can't simply fall in line with the Zar'khan's plans. Their control over other civilizations goes against everything we stand for." Major Zhang Wei nodded in agreement, his military training evident in his strategic thinking. "But we can't ignore the threat of the Void Heralds either. We're caught between two formidable forces." Dr. Sofia Valdez, her scientific curiosity tempered by the gravity of the situation, added, "We need to find a way to protect Earth and maintain our independence without becoming pawns in this galactic chess game." Dr. Mo Sai, who had been quietly analyzing the biological data, looked up from his tablet. "The genetic modifications the Zar'khan offered, they're a double-edged sword. We could use that technology, but find a way to remove the control elements." Dmitry Volkov, ever the diplomat, stroked his chin thoughtfully. "Perhaps we can negotiate a new position for Earth, not as subjects of the Zar'khan, but as true allies against the Void Heralds." Captain Tanaka listened to each of her crew members, her mind working through the possibilities. Finally, she spoke, her decision clear in her voice. "We're going to chart our own course. Humanity won't be controlled by the Zar'khan or destroyed by the Void Heralds. We'll use the knowledge we've gained to activate Project Atlantis and awaken Earth's hidden potential." The crew nodded in solemn agreement, each understanding the monumental nature of this decision. "Samantha," Tanaka continued, "your knowledge of Project Atlantis is crucial. Work with Dr. Osai to find a way to safely awaken humanity's dormant abilities without the Zar'khan control elements." Samantha nodded, her eyes gleaming with determination. "I'll need to access the Envoy's secure databases. The final keys to Project Atlantis should be there." "Dr. Valdez, Major Zhang," Tanaka turned to them. "I need you to analyze the Zar'khan defense grids. Find weaknesses we can exploit if necessary, but also ways we can strengthen Earth's defenses against both the Zar'khan and the Void Heralds." "Understood, Captain," they replied in unison, already moving to their stations. "Dmitry," Tanaka addressed the diplomat, "you have the most delicate task. We need to confront the Zar'khan with what we've learned, but in a way that doesn't immediately make us enemies. We need time to implement our plan." Dmitry nodded gravely. "I'll prepare a diplomatic approach that balances truth with tact. We'll need to tread carefully." As the crew dispersed to their tasks, Captain Tanaka felt the weight of command more heavily than ever before. They were about to alter the course of galactic politics, with Earth stepping onto the cosmic stage not as a pawn, but as a new, independent player. Samantha, working feverishly at her console, couldn't help but feel a sense of destiny. Everything her selection for the mission, the secrets of Project Atlantis, the revelations on Zar'khania had led to this moment. As she delved deeper into the hidden files, a plan began to form in her mind. A way to not only awaken humanity's potential, but to potentially unite the oppressed civilizations against both the Zar'khan's control and the Void Herald's destruction. As alarms continued to blare in the background, signaling the approaching conflict, the crew of the Envoy worked tirelessly. They knew that their next actions would not only determine the fate of Earth, but could reshape the entire galaxy. The stage was set for humanity's stand, a bold move that would challenge the cosmic status quo and potentially unleash a force that neither the Zar'khan nor the Void Heralds had anticipated, a free, united, an awakened humanity ready to forge its own path among the stars. As the human crew finalized their preparations, Captain Tanaka received an urgent summons from the Zar'khan High Council. The timing was uncanny, almost as if their host had sensed a shift in the humans' understanding and intentions. The crew of the envoy made their way to the Grand Chamber where they had first been received upon arriving on Zar'khania. This time, however, the atmosphere was charged with tension. As they entered, they found not only their Zar'khan hosts, but also holographic representations of various other species, presumably the representatives of other galactic powers. The lead Zar'khan, its bioluminescent patterns pulsing with what Samantha now recognized as agitation, addressed them. "Honored guest from Earth, we have called this emergency council to address the imminent threat of the Void Heralds. We must unite our forces immediately." Captain Tanaka stepped forward, her posture straight and confident. "Before we proceed, there are matters we need to discuss openly, matters concerning the true nature of galactic politics and Earth's position within it." A ripple of surprise and concern passed through the assembled aliens. Dmitri, standing close to Captain Tanaka, began to subtly translate the various alien reactions for the benefit of his crewmates. "We have uncovered information," Tanaka continued, her voice steady, "that suggests the Zar'khan's role in the galaxy goes beyond mere protection against the Void Heralds. We know about the control mechanisms, the suppression of developing civilizations, including Earth." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien voices and thought projections. Samantha, using her enhanced understanding of alien communication, picked up on undercurrents of fear, anger, and from some quarters relief that the truth was finally being spoken. The lead Zar'khan's patterns flared brightly. "You do not understand the complexities of galactic stability. Our methods have kept peace for millennia." A holographic representative of a crystalline species chimed in, its voice like chiming bells. "The humans speak truth that many have long suspected. The Zar'khan's protection has come at the cost of our autonomy." Major Zhang, ever vigilant, noticed subtle shifts in the chamber's security protocols. He whispered to Captain Tanaka, "We may need to be prepared for a quick exit." Dr. Valdez, who had been monitoring communications, suddenly spoke up. "Captain, we're picking up massive energy signatures approaching the planet. I think the Void Heralds are making their move." The chamber descended into chaos as multiple alien representatives began demanding explanations, making accusations, and calling for action. The Zar'khan leaders seemed to be losing control of the situation. Amidst the turmoil, Samantha locked eyes with Captain Tanaka and gave a subtle nod. They had discussed this possibility, a moment of confusion that could be used to their advantage. Captain Tanaka raised her voice above the din. "Enough. The true enemy is at our doorstep, and we stand here bickering. Earth proposes a new path forward, one that respects the autonomy of all species while uniting against common threats." She nodded to Samantha, who activated a holographic display of her own. The image showed a network of worlds, connected not by control and subjugation, but by mutual cooperation and shared technology. "Project Atlantis," Samantha explained, her voice clear and confident, "was not just about protecting Earth. It's a key to unlocking the dormant potential in all of our species, a way to level the playing field and create true allies, not subjects." The chamber fell silent as the implications of her words sank in. The Zar'khan leaders exchanged worried glances, realizing their millennia-old system of control was on the brink of collapse. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the chamber. A Zar'khan aide rushed in, its patterns flashing urgently. "The Void Heralds have breached the outer defenses. They'll be upon us within hours." Captain Tanaka seized the moment. "We don't have time for further debate. Earth offers its newly awakened capabilities and the secrets of Project Atlantis to any who would stand with us as equals. Together, we can face this threat and forge a new future for our galaxy." The chamber erupted once more, but this time with a different energy. Many of the alien representatives were signaling their agreement, their desire to break free from Zar'khan control and stand on equal footing. The lead Zar'khan, seeing the tide turning, made one last attempt to regain control. "You don't know what you're doing. The galaxy will descend into chaos without our guidance." But it was too late. The humans had sparked a revolution in galactic politics, offering hope of true independence and cooperation in the face of an existential threat. As the chamber buzzed with activity, alliances shifting and plans being hastily made, the crew of the Envoy shared a moment of grim satisfaction. They had changed the course of galactic history, but the real test was yet to come. The Void Heralds were approaching, and this newly forged alliance of free worlds would face its trial by fire. Humanity had made its stand, and now they would have to prove they could live up to the bold promises they had made. Captain Tanaka turned to her crew, her eyes reflecting the gravity of the moment. "Well done, all of you. Now, let's prepare for the fight of our lives, not just for Earth, but for the freedom of every world in this galaxy." As they left the chamber to prepare for the coming battle, Samantha felt a mix of exhilaration and terror. They had set in motion events that would reshape the galaxy, but the cost of failure would be unimaginable. The true test of humanity's potential was about to begin. As the newly forged alliance scrambled to prepare for the Void Herald's imminent attack, an unexpected crisis erupted that threatened to unravel everything. The Zar'khanian planetary defense system, a complex network of energy fields and automated responses, suddenly went haywire. Alarms blared throughout the capital city as massive energy surges pulsed erratically, causing widespread disruptions. Buildings shimmered and flickered, transportation systems ground to a halt, and communication networks crackled with interference. "It's a failsafe," one of the Zar'khan technicians projected frantically. "Designed to activate if control was ever wrested from the High Council. It's destabilizing our entire infrastructure." The alien representatives who had sided with Earth's proposal looked on in horror as their only defense against the approaching Void Heralds began to tear itself apart. Captain Tanaka, realizing the gravity of the situation, turned to her crew. "This is our chance to prove ourselves. Dr. Valdez, Dr. Osai, work with the Zar'khan engineers to stabilize the energy grid. Major Zhang, coordinate with the other species to establish a temporary defense perimeter. Samantha, Dmitri, you're with me. We need to find a way to override this failsafe." As the Envoy crew sprang into action, their alien counterparts watched with a mixture of skepticism and desperate hope. Dr. Valdez, her mind racing, quickly grasped the fundamentals of the Zar'khanian energy systems. "It's not so different from quantum entanglement," she muttered, her fingers flying over alien controls. "If we can isolate the resonance frequencies." Dr. Osei, drawing on his knowledge of biological systems, made a crucial connection. "The city responds like a living organism. We need to treat this like an autoimmune response." He began working with a group of crystalline aliens to introduce a calming frequency into the energy grid. Meanwhile, Major Zhang's military experience proved invaluable as he coordinated a motley crew of alien defenders. "We need overlapping fields of fire," he explained, using universal mathematical concepts to bridge the language gap. "Each species' unique abilities can cover another's weaknesses." In the central control hub, Captain Tanaka, Samantha, and Dmitri faced their greatest challenge. The failsafe was embedded deep within the Zar'khanian systems, protected by layers of security that had never been meant to be breached. Samantha, drawing on her knowledge of Project Atlantis and her growing understanding of Zar'khanian language, began to decipher the underlying code. "It's based on their thought patterns," she realized. "We need to think like them to unlock it." Dimitri's diplomatic insights proved crucial. "Their entire society is built on harmony and consensus," he mused. "Perhaps the override requires agreement from multiple sources." Captain Tanaka, her leadership skills shining, coordinated their efforts while simultaneously calming the panicked alien leaders. "We need representatives from each major species," she declared. "This system was built to control you all. It'll take all of you working together to shut it down." As the crisis reached its peak, with energy surges threatening to tear the city apart and the Void Heralds drawing ever closer, The diverse group of humans and aliens came together in a way unprecedented in galactic history. Dr. Valdez and Dr. Osai's unorthodox approach, combining Earth science with alien technology, began to stabilize the energy grid. Major Zhang's makeshift defense force, comprised of species that had been adversaries mere hours ago, took shape around the city's perimeter. In the control hub, Samantha guided the alien representatives through a complex series of mental and physical interactions with the system. Dimitri's diplomatic skills kept the fragile alliance from fracturing under the immense pressure. Just as it seemed the failsafe might overwhelm them, Captain Tanaka's steady leadership brought all the elements together. With a final, coordinated effort, the combined will of the assembled species overrode the ancient Zar'khanian protocols. The energy surges subsided, the city's system stabilized, and a new sense of unity washed over the assembled galactic representatives. As the immediate crisis passed, the lead Zar'khan turned to Captain Tanaka, its bioluminescent patterns conveying a mix of awe and humility. In all our millennia of existence, we never imagined. Your species, in mere hours, has accomplished what we thought impossible. Perhaps it is time for us to learn from you. The other alien representatives murmured and pulsed in agreement. Earth, in its first true test on the galactic stage, had proven its worth not through dominance, but through cooperation, adaptability, and innovative problem-solving. However, there was no time to celebrate. As the city's sensors came back online, they brought grim news. The Void Heralds had used the confusion to advance much closer than anticipated. The newly forged alliance had survived its first test, but an even greater challenge loomed on the horizon. Captain Tanaka, her crew at her side, faced the assembled galactic leaders. "We've proven what we can accomplish together," she declared, her voice ringing with determination. "Now, let's take that unity and face our true enemy, for the freedom of all our worlds." As the diverse group of aliens cheered and signaled their agreement, Samantha felt a surge of pride and hope. They had changed the course of galactic politics and overcome a potentially catastrophic crisis. Now, they would face the greatest threat the galaxy had ever known, not as masters and subjects, but as equals united in a common cause. The stage was set for the final confrontation, with the fate of Earth, Zar'khania, and countless other worlds hanging in the balance. The true test of this new galactic alliance was about to begin. As the Void Heralds closed in on Zar'khania, the newly forged alliance prepared for what seemed to be an impossible battle. The combined fleet of various alien species, hastily assembled and barely coordinated, faced an enemy that had consumed countless worlds. Captain Tanaka, now serving as the de facto leader of the Alliance's military efforts, stood on the bridge of the Envoy, which had been rapidly upgraded with a mixture of Earth and alien technologies. Around her, holographic displays showed the approaching Void Herald Armada, a terrifying swarm of dark, energy-absorbing ships that seemed to devour the very light of the stars. "All units, prepare for engagement," Tanaka's voice rang out across the communication channels, translated instantly into dozens of alien languages. "Remember, we're fighting not just for our individual worlds, but for the freedom of the entire galaxy." As the battle began, it quickly became apparent that traditional tactics were ineffective against the Void Heralds. Their ships seemed to absorb or deflect any energy weapons directed at them, and their ability to manipulate gravity made conventional projectiles useless. It was Dr. Valdez who first noticed a pattern in the Void Herald's movements. "Captain," she called out, her eyes fixed on a complex data stream. "Their ships, they're not just absorbing energy, they're redirecting it. If we could disrupt that process." Samantha, who had been working to integrate Project Atlantis technology with the Allied fleet systems, suddenly had an epiphany. "The dormant abilities we awakened in humanity, they're not just about enhancing our capabilities. They're about manipulating the fundamental forces of the universe." Major Zhang, coordinating the defensive formations, caught on quickly. "If we could use those abilities to create a resonance cascade, we could disrupt their entire energy absorption process," Dr. Osai finished, already calculating the biological implications. Captain Tanaka didn't hesitate. Make it happen. Samantha, work with the Zar'khan to broadcast the activation sequence for these abilities to all our allied ships. Dr. Valdez, Major Zhang, coordinate our fleet to create the resonance pattern we need. As the plan was put into motion, something extraordinary began to happen. The human ability to think creatively and adapt quickly spread through the Alliance. Species that had been set in their ways for millennia began to innovate on the fly, combining their unique abilities in ways never before imagined. The crystalline beings focused the energy manipulations, while the gaseous entities of the Nebula Collective provided the perfect medium for transmitting the resonance cascade. Earth's awakened psychic abilities, amplified by Zar'khanian technology, served as the catalyst that brought it all together. As the Allied fleet executed this unprecedented strategy, the Void Heralds' advance faltered for the first time in their long history of conquest. Their ships, once invulnerable, began to flicker and destabilize. But the Void Heralds were not defeated easily. In a last, desperate move, they concentrated their entire armada into a single, massive entity, a swirling vortex of dark energy that threatened to engulf not just the Allied fleet, but the entire Zar'khanian system. It was in this moment of crisis that humanity's greatest strength shone through. Captain Tanaka, drawing on the collective knowledge and abilities of the entire Alliance, made a decision that would reshape the course of galactic history. All ships, channel your energy through the envoy, she commanded. We're going to use Project Atlantis to create a bridge between dimensions. As the Allied fleet complied, the envoy became the focal point of an incredible convergence of energies. Samantha, her mind linked with the ship's systems and the awakened abilities of humanity, guided the process with a mixture of scientific precision and intuitive leaps that left their alien allies in awe. A brilliant beam of multidimensional energy burst forth from the envoy, striking the heart of the Void Herald vortex. For a moment, the fabric of space-time itself seemed to warp and bend. When the blinding light faded, the Void Heralds were gone, not destroyed, but transported to a distant, uninhabited region of space where they could no longer threaten sentient life. As the Allied fleet erupted in celebrations, the full impact of what had transpired began to sink in. Humanity, in its first foray into galactic politics, had not only helped forge an alliance of former enemies, but had also found a way to neutralize a threat that had plagued the galaxy for eons. The lead Zar'khan, approaching the envoy in its ship, transmitted a message tinged with humility and respect. In our long history, we never imagined that the solution to our greatest threat would come from the very species we sought to control. Humanity has taught us the value of freedom, innovation, and unity in diversity. As the Alliance began to discuss the new galactic order that would emerge from this conflict, it was clear that humanity would play a central role. Earth was no longer a protected backwater, but a respected member of the galactic community, one whose unique perspective and abilities had changed the course of cosmic history. Captain Tanaka, surrounded by her crew on the bridge of the envoy, looked out at the starfield now free from the shadow of the Void Heralds. "Well done, everyone," she said, her voice filled with pride and wonder. "We came here to make first contact, and we ended up saving the galaxy. I'd say that's a successful mission." As the envoy prepared to return to Earth, carrying news of their incredible adventure and humanity's new place in the cosmos, Samantha reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From the mysteries of Project Atlantis to the forging of a galactic alliance, they had faced challenges beyond imagination and emerged victorious. The galaxy had been changed forever, and humanity's great journey among the stars was just beginning. In the months following the defeat of the Void Heralds, Earth underwent a transformation unlike anything in its history. The return of the envoy, bearing news of humanity's pivotal role in the galactic conflict, sparked a global revolution in thought, technology, and society. As Captain Tanaka and her crew stood before the United Nations, recounting their incredible journey, the world watched in awe. Samantha Chen, now recognized as a key figure in unlocking humanity's potential, led the effort to implement Project Atlantis on a global scale. Cities around the world began to shimmer with new energy as dormant abilities awakened in the population. Dr. Valdez and Dr. Osai spearheaded the integration of alien technologies with Earth's existing infrastructure, ushering in an era of unprecedented scientific advancement. Clean energy became abundant, diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries were cured, and the environmental damage of past generations began to reverse. Major Zhang, working with international leaders, helped establish Earth's first global defense force, designed to protect the planet and contribute to galactic peacekeeping efforts. The once competing nations of Earth found a new unity in their shared cosmic citizenship. Dmitry Volkov's diplomatic skills were put to the test as he became Earth's first ambassador to the newly formed Galactic Council. His efforts ensured that humanity's voice was heard and respected in interstellar affairs. As Earth took its place in the galactic community, it quickly became known for several unique qualities. 1. Innovation hub. Earth's ability to think creatively and adapt quickly made it a center for problem solving. Alien species from across the galaxy began sending their best and brightest to Earth to study and collaborate, leading to breakthroughs that benefited all sentient life. 2. Cultural nexus. Humanity's diverse cultures and art forms fascinated other species. Earth became a popular destination for galactic tourists and artists, leading to a renaissance in creative expression that melded influences from across the cosmos. 3. Diplomatic mediators. Humans' ability to see multiple perspectives and forge unlikely alliances made them valuable mediators in interstellar disputes. Earth diplomats were often called upon to help resolve conflicts between long-standing enemy species. 4. Ecological pioneers. Having learned hard lessons about environmental stewardship, humans became leaders in planetary restoration projects, helping to heal worlds damaged by war or overexploitation. 5. Guardians of freedom. Earth took a leading role in ensuring that no single species or alliance could dominate others, always advocating for the rights of developing civilizations to chart their own course. The profound changes weren't without challenges. Earth had to navigate complex galactic politics, manage the influx of alien knowledge and technology, and help its population adapt to the reality of being part of a vast cosmic community. There were those who resisted the changes, fearing the loss of human identity or the potential dangers of alien influence. However, the spirit of exploration and adaptation that had led the Envoy crew to their great victory seemed to infuse the entire species. Humanity faced its new reality with a mixture of excitement, determination, and the same resourcefulness that had impressed their alien allies. As the 5th anniversary of the Void Herald defeat approached, Earth prepared to host the first Galactic Unity Festival. Representatives from thousands of worlds would attend, celebrating the diversity of sentient life and the strength found in cooperation. Captain Tanaka, now Admiral of Earth's nascent Starfleet, stood with her former crew atop the newly constructed Unity Tower in New York. As they watched ships from across the galaxy descend through the atmosphere, each lost in thought about the incredible journey that had brought them to this moment, Samantha spoke softly. "When we left Earth, we were searching for our place in the universe. Who could have imagined that we'd not only find it, but help reshape the galaxy in the process?" Admiral Tanaka nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "And this is just the beginning. The real journey starts now." As the first notes of the galactic anthem began to play, signaling the start of the festival, the former crew of the Envoy looked to the stars with a sense of pride and wonder. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger world, and the universe would never be the same. The era of Earth's cosmic adventure had truly begun, full of endless possibilities and challenges yet to be imagined. Whatever the future held, humanity was ready to face it not alone, but as part of a grand, diverse galactic family, bound together by the shared experiences of the past and the bright promise of the future.